Good evening, guys. It's Darren from Jace Media, and providing the chat tonight is none other than powerhouse vocal man, guitar maestro Tom Hart from Trucker Diablo. Tom, how are you?
Too bad. How's things?
Yeah, great, buddy. Great. It's just Friday night, nice to be finished work and chilling out and doing a bit of chat.
Absolutely.
Yourself, what you been up to? What's been happening?
Just been busy. Just this past few weeks, just getting everything ready for the album, and actually, this past few months, it's been planned since the start of the year. So, just trying to get everything in line and get PR and everything sorted. So, but it's been good. Reviews have been good, including your own. So it's been it's well received. So we're really really pleased.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crack of an album. I think the last time, it shows you how long ago, the last time I saw you guys was Winterstorm.
Yes, a few years back, yeah.
Yeah, that was the last time I saw you. And obviously, I normally work at Winterstorm because I was with Shock City.
Yeah.
But that year I was just chilling out, took my wife down. She hadn't been before. And she's like, well, because I'm trying to introduce her to lots of different rock stuff. And she's like, wow, these boys are really good. Who are they? And I said, oh, these are Trucker Diablo. What nationality are they? I said, oh, Irish. Doesn't matter. And she's like, well, they're really good. They've got a really good sound to them. I mean, my wife will pick on certain bits. I listen to the rhythms and all that and the lyrics and stuff. She's like, yeah, I quite like that beat, So.
Well, no, loads of people think we're American for some reason, but maybe it comes across in the sound. So
yeah, maybe it's got that kind of American sound to it, but that's not a bad thing. It's nice that people can kind of dream of you being a different band, rather than the band that you are. I mean, you've had really great success with all your albums and stuff like that, and it's came down really well, and I think there's a bit of anticipation building for the new album because it's been a couple of years since your last album, but I must say it hasn't disappointed one bit. I've got six, seven standouts on the album.
Cool, that's good.
Opener is just a cracker right from the off. It's like a fucking tornado coming out of the blocks. And obviously you've got your singles. I'm Still Alive, Rock Kids of the 80s. Don't Hold On to Hate is my favourite on the album.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's excellent.
So I don't know if you wrote that or not.
I did. I wrote.
But yeah, it's a cracking little track, and then I go into Edge of Tonight, Woodstock to Vietnam, which is another really cool track, and then finishing off with Bury the Ocean. It's it's just a well thought out piece of music.
That's it. We had the time to think it over. I think if we had done the album when we had planned to done the album, it'd probably be a very different album. But I suppose the lockdown had been kind to us in that regard, that we got more time to work on the songs.
Yeah, I mean, lots of interviews that I do and people you chat to, it's the same all over. We've had loads of time, we've written one album and we're in the process of writing another album. And a lot of people are saying by the time you get out on tour, you might have two albums to play, and I guess that's not a bad thing.
No, and it's very true, but it's true for us as well. Well, maybe not another album, but then we've definitely a lot of songs that were considerations for this album that didn't make it, that are still, worthy of something down the line, where we've been talking about maybe doing like a B-side EP or something like that, just to actually do something with them, and maybe just release them in demo form,
Yeah, maybe put like a deluxe version, tail end of Hurricane and then your Bees or whatever,
I think we actually talked about maybe calling it After the Hurricane, something like that.
Well, that'd be After the Storm. Something a little bit of catchiness to it, but I think that's I think a lot of people would possibly appreciate that, because it then kicks out that you're still thinking about music. You're not just saying done the album and we can glide along for 3, 4, 5, 6 months and then maybe put out something else.
That's it. And we tend to we normally have a sort of time scale of every 2 years. We tend to do an album, but obviously we didn't do that this time around. Just with everything being locked down, but you can see another album next year.
Listen, that's good though. So how's it been over in Ireland? How has the lockdown been? Has it been hard?
Well, I think probably like yourselves, we're maybe a week behind, but we're slowly coming out of it. When it started in March, I think last year, we had just come back off a few shows in the UK and a festival. Winter's End was the last festival we played. So after we came back, we'd already recorded Rock Kids of the 80s. So we were going pretty much straight into the studio after that, and then we couldn't. So we just sort of, like every other band, started to think, right, what can we do here? And then we started to do some acoustic things online and do just the usual everyone was doing. And we actually did an acoustic version of I'm Still Alive before it was released. So yeah, so we had all those demos and we started writing more songs, and then I was sending songs through to the guys and we're like, that should definitely be on the album. That should definitely be on the album. So there was a few easements, I think around maybe July last year. So we did sort of finally get together in rehearsal, and then all those demos sort of came into the rehearsal space and we're like, these should definitely be on. So just throughout the year, any sort of easements and lockdown, we got into the studio, not all at once, just here, there, and everywhere. And luckily in my home studio, we had done the demos. So everyone was pretty, familiar with the demos. And our drummer, he went into the studio with the demos and played along to them. And then we went in
and filled in, yeah,
and finished everything, which isn't really ideal, but it's just so strange how it worked out that this album has been received really well. We knew the songs were strong. We knew they were diverse enough that there was something there for everyone. But it's really been really well received all around the world, which is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just shows the tenacity of you guys, that that you're still able to write 10, 15, 20 songs, and from that 20 bring out 10, 11, 12 good tracks and still have some left over that can maybe go to, like you said, a best of, or a B-side, or the Hurricane Has Finished album, or whatever, that people still want to listen to what you've got, because I think you've got a real, although you've been going you've been going a long time, you've still got a fresh sound, and I think a lot of people enjoy that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. There's a lot of people haven't really heard of Trucker Diablo, which is we've been on the rock scene for now just over 10 years.
Yeah,
and we do have that hardcore following, but it's a good thing. There's still people out there still discovering us and enjoying the music, and that's the beauty of it, really, isn't it? And we just,
yeah. I think as long as you still enjoy it, Tom, I think that's the main thing.
And you've seen us live, we do enjoy it. That's why we do it. We don't really have a set agenda, and we never really ever had a set agenda when we started the band. It's just, the quality of the songs really drove the success of the band, and again, we're not like, right, well, let's try and do this. We're just like, right, look, these songs are good enough to allow us to do these things. So hopefully, if people pick up on them, like promoters or whatever, they'll give us a shot at their festival, and luckily we have been given those shots.
Yeah, but and it's very true. Obviously you're coming across to do Wildfire this year.
Yeah, we're headlining this year. We have been trying to do it for this past, I don't know, maybe 3 years or so. It's just whatever way it happened, it just never fell right. And then last year I think we were supposed to do it last year, and then we couldn't, obviously. So we're doing it this year. So yeah, we're really, really happy to be headlining the Saturday night, and we can't wait to get over there. Scotland has been great for us this past few years. We played Glasgow a few times in the early days, but recently, I would say the last 2 years, we've done Edinburgh, Galashiels a few times, and it's just the fans there have just been amazing. So we're really pleased to get back.
I guess what a lot of it is as well, though, Tom, is that yes, it's good to play your hardcore audiences, your Glasgows, your Edinburgh, but when you branch out, Galashiels and the Borders and stuff, I think, people like to hear like raw, 4 guys getting up and doing a raw set. And I think that's good for you guys as well. But, you're not just a run of a mill band. You come on stage and you do exactly what you say on the tin. And I guess a lot of people like that. They don't expect bells and whistles. You come in, you plug in, you kick the ass out of it, and then you leave and get pissed.
That's it.
You
Like
know,
we're there to have a good time as well as much as anyone else. So that's what we tend to do. We tend to hang around with the fans and friends that come to see us, and just we don't have there's no egos in this band, that's for sure.
Yeah, but that's good as well. You're just down to earth guys who just wanna, you don't go look at us. We're rock stars. We don't want to talk to you. I think a lot of it is that the fans make the band. The fans buy your merch, they buy your music, and they want to hang about with you and just go. I was hanging about with Tom, and we got pissed, and it was just a laugh. And I think that's what's important.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's the fans, they enable us to come back every time, and they're always there for us. We don't play in Northern Ireland much. We probably play it maybe once a year, and that's really ahead of it. The sort of core fan base really is UK, Scotland. We've played Europe a few times, and we're hoping to get back there again. There's been someone had reached out from Spain to trying to get us to Spain for maybe 5-6 dates. So we're hopefully maybe doing that next year.
I think you'll be very well received in Spain, though, Tom. I think you've got that kind of European sound as well that a lot of the raw riffing guitars that a lot of European bands have, and I think you'd be very well received. And hopefully, with this interview, I'll send it over to Australia. It goes to America. It goes to Europe. And obviously with that, we normally put we tag a couple of songs onto the back of the video. So people will get to, your hardcore fans in Britain will see you and they'll have a bit of a laugh because, I have no agenda. I don't come in and go, I need to ask 10 questions and then I'm out. We just talk about stuff. And then, we send it across to America, send it to New York, and we send it to Australia, Melbourne, and places like that, and Sydney, and then we send it to Europe. Germany's quite a good haunt for us as well. A lot of the magazines over there pick up on all of the interviews and stuff, So this will hopefully gather you some new fans as well.
That'd be good.
We get about 120,000 visitors to our site every month. And I think when I did the album a couple of weeks back, it came out that 1,400 hits. And about sort of like 105 shares. So a lot of people are reading it and then sharing it on, and a lot of, I think I'm affiliated with something like 50 different sites, rock and blues and people like that, and the hardcore and the thrash and stuff, and we put it out there. And a lot of people pick it up, and a lot of people have never really heard of you before, but they come back and say, "I'll listen to that album. Oh, it was brilliant." So that's a good thing for you guys as well, that, we'll hopefully we'll gather you some more fans.
Well, that's what it's all about. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So the 4 of you, are you itching to get out on the road? Has it been easy? Has it been, well, you kind of think, I'm kind of quite happy at home? Or do you think, no, I just want to get out and rip the ass out of it?
Yeah, pretty much. Just want to get out and rip the ass out of it is probably a good way to describe it. It's just, we've been sitting on these songs, for just so long. And we have played Rock Kids of the 80s live a few times. And it's been well received. But, we've been sitting on the other songs and we're just like, we just think, I think that for us now, 5 albums in, you're sort of struggling to pick because, you have to promote an album and you want to do at least, maybe 4 to 6 songs of that. You have to play the singles and then picking the other songs from the back catalogue. But, luckily there's enough there to sort of keep us going. And, we do want to get out and really sort of showcase these songs because we're proud of them. We think they'll be killer live. And, we've just literally got back to rehearsal this last week. And, so we're starting to put a show together and sort of piece them together in the set. So, yeah, we can't wait. It's going to be great. Just be good.
Yeah. How do you go about setting the songs for the show? Do you collaborate together, or do you pick some favourites and then build on that, or do you think I think we need to open with Big Truck Keeps on Rolling and then put songs in, or do you go let's start with an old favourite and then work on from that?
Probably a mix of everything there, Darren, to be honest. Like, there's songs that we just have to play. Drink Beer Destroy, we have to play that because it's like our ace of spades.
Yeah,
In terms of openers, we do tend to sort of do shift that every time, and I think this time round we are going to sort of start looking at some of the newer songs just to open and sort of maybe mix those together as a bit of a medley, just to sort of get things kicked off, and then sort of introduce some of the older songs in there as well. So I think we're going to stick to maybe a 50-50 rule for now and just try and do half new, half old, and see how that goes down.
I
But
get. I guess probably some of that is that it's still trial and error. You put a brand new song to kick off, and people go, "Oh, I was expecting them to do," and you go, "Oh, the reason we did this is because." And I think maybe giving the fans a taster as the first opener is probably a good way to start, because people will then think you've not been sitting on your laurels.
no, exactly. I think so. I think it is good to introduce it, and we have to. There's just we can't play. We'd love to play them all, but we just we can't. So we have to. We could probably play every single that we've done, and
Yeah.
that would fill a whole set. And that could probably keep people happy, to a certain degree. But then there's other people that have their own album favorites as well. Like, we did put something on social media recently to say, like, what's your favorites of the new album, and people are coming back with sort of what we've already picked for the set, so that's kind of a good barometer, that we're on the right track.
Yeah.
That's good, so we're looking forward to really pumping those out, and I really hope it happens. There's just so much, because apart from being Northern Ireland, we have to worry about what's going on here, but then we also have to worry about what's going on in England, and make sure that we can actually, on Scotland obviously, and make
Yeah.
sure we get over.
I kind of guess, I think the whole lockdown and the whole sitting waiting and the whole Europe thing as well, with coming out of Brexit and stuff. I guess, and I say this to lots of people when I interview them, that I think, especially for Glasgow is a mecca for live music. They just love their music. They love to embrace new bands. They love to embrace old bands. They want to get out. They want to enjoy themselves. They want to give you a good time. And I guess that whenever it opens up fully, I think there'll be a gig in Glasgow every night for probably 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And I think there'll be lots of people scrambling for dates, and I think that'll be just good for everyone. And I guess the fact that you've been, stuck at home and writing, and you're coming out of the gate with a brand new album, I guess that people just want to flock to you guys and then just listen to what you've got, and I feel quite privileged as a reviewer that we get to hear the album, a couple of months before everyone else, and we get to hear what you guys have been putting down, and as I say, I was listening to the On the Way to Work this morning. I stuck on the album, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's a real good one. And I guess for me, it's like, you would never say I like all 10 tracks, all 12 tracks, because I guess that's just one of those things. You have to have tracks where you think, yeah, it was all right, because you would never say, oh, Tom, it's a 10 out of 10, because where do you go from 10 out of 10? You have to then raise the bar again and again, so I guess the album, for me, is a solid 9. It's a solid 9 because of the content that's in it, because of the different tracks, the different lyrics, and I really like it. I really think it's a strong album. I think it will do extremely well. Like you say, there's lots of good reviews online. People, as I say, sometimes we share stories and stuff, and people, yeah, it's a really good album. It's quite strong. It's got lots of this. It's got lots of that. And I think for us, it's, as I say, it's a privilege that we get to hear it before everybody else, Tom. So I must congratulate you on it, and pass that on to the boys.
Well, definitely.
And just say the big man says Jim.
They're behind me here. There's Jim over there somewhere in that picture.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've only got half the bodies, Tom. You need to put the camera up a bit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
There you go. I can see them all now.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, it's it, is it a good stupid question? Is it a good feeling being in a rock band? Do you enjoy it? Is it something that you always wanted to do? Is it something that you stumbled upon and now think this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, or any other reason for it?
Yeah, well, like started playing guitar early on, and my brother was into rock and metal, and that's how sort of I got raised because we shared a room, so I was hearing everything that he was bringing in.
Yeah.
That's how sort of my love for it started. And then when I was good enough on the guitar, I actually joined a band with my brother. So we played about for about 8-9 years, and we played in the States, played in Canada. I signed the first record deal when I was 19. So I started to get a real good sense of what it meant to be in a band and what you needed to do. And then sort of when that ended, I had a kid, when I was about 27, so sort of took a break for a while and just didn't really think about it. And Simon, who's the other guitar player in the band, he was in a well-known band called Joyrider from here that done well years ago. They were on Top of the Pops and toured all over and did loads of stuff. But me and him had become friends, and he was like, "Look, I think one day we'll get a band together." So that's what happened. Probably about 11, 12 years ago, I was like, "Right, Simon, I'm ready if you are." And then that was pretty much it. And it's like I said before, we'd never no agenda apart from just writing great songs with big riffs and big choruses right from the start. That's the first conversation we had. It says, look, if we're going to write these songs, they have to be big choruses, big riffs, because that's what people are going to remember. Yeah. And it is a great feeling, as a songwriter now, a well-seasoned songwriter. I listen to everything, from rock and songwriters. It's really just about making that connection with the fans. That's what really I want. I want to them to feel what I was feeling when I'm writing that song and sort of put it out there so they can feel that back and sing along to the lyrics or react to it however they want. And I think, if I can do that as a songwriter, then pretty much my job's done from there.
How does it make you feel though? So let's just take Winterstorm. How does it make you feel when you step out on stage and you start singing and you look at the faces and you get people singing back your lyrics? How does that make you feel?
It just makes feel incredible, that the songs that you've written have sort of touched people in a way that they feel they want to be there front and center to sing them back to you, to let you know that they've made the connection and then you're making the connection with them. And it's just, those kind of moments are untouchable in a way, because it's like we're there in the moment, they're there in the moment, and then we're at the bar after
together. In the moment at the bar, absolutely. And sharing that moment together. But I guess that's a great thing as well, because I guess when you step off stage, you've still got the memories. When you go to the next town, you kind of hope they're as good as Glasgow or as good as Edinburgh, as good as Newcastle. But I think you'll always have the memory, of that night because of the set you played or the reception. And I know that when you play Glasgow, everybody just goes nuts because they just love the good old rock and roll, and I think that's, as I say, a testament to you and the boys that you keep coming back. And if I may say so, every album is better than the last.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's what we want.
I kind of, I've listened to a lot of your stuff, and as I say, I've seen you live, and this is almost, I think, the tail end of a Hurricane is like almost like a coming of age album, if that makes sense, Tom, because I think it defines you guys as songwriters and musicians.
Yeah, no, I think that's I think that's really fair, because after the second album, things were really taken off. We'd done Foo Fighters, played Download, things were really going well. And then on the third album, I again had a lot of time to sort of sit down and write this, and we'd sort of took a bit of a break from the band because we'd done so much, the year before. So I had a lot of time to write, and then I was actually sort of approaching record labels to write as a songwriter, and then we got approached by uh, like a production house or a music studio or a music supervisor house in the States about using one of our songs for the NFL advert. So we were in talks about that, and then I was like, right, well, Jesus, we could probably maybe write some songs for sort of commercially and let people use them and maybe make a bit of money to help the band or whatever. So I was sort of actively doing that as well. So a lot of the stuff that I was writing there in that mindset was what came from the third album. So I really got a lot of time to sort of work on my own songwriting and how, they would be the best songs they could be. And that sort of translated into the fourth album, which was received well, but not like this. I think, from the third and fourth, the songwriting, like you're saying, we've come into ourselves. We've really found our form, and we know, what a good song sounds like, and how the fans will react to that. And it's great. It's just great to be in that position. A lot of bands probably fall off, early on, and just get discouraged. But I think if you don't really have an agenda, then you're never going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I think, if you go into it thinking, oh, we've been going 10 years, but in 5 years we want to have like a silver album and a gold album, and by 10 years we want to be 8 albums in and have like 1 million fans, and we want to have conquered the world. I guess the fact that you just go, we want to come out, we play some shows. If someone picks us up, great. If we get picked up by an agent, fantastic. If we then make an album and it's not well received, then we're not doing our job properly. So I guess, taking the time, writing the album, and making sure that it's the best you've got. And as I say, Tom, I must admit, I think this is the best you've done. And then that then puts a bit of pressure on from next year or the year after to bring out a better album.
Yeah, that's it.
But I just think that I think you're on the crest of a wave at the moment. I think the album's been very, very well received, and I think the fans will be mightily surprised when you step on stage and you come at them with some of these new tracks. I think they'll just be blown away.
Hope so.
Yeah. So I must admit, I really thank you for your time. It was nice to finally get it over the line. I think when you try and look at your PR people and get them to do it, they're busy with stuff, and I guess it's better to try and interact together and get it sorted.
That's the best way, absolutely.
And I think it gives us a wee bit more of a personable approach as well, rather than trying to do it through an agent or a PR guy. So I really appreciate your time, Tom. I thank you for sitting chatting to me on a Friday night. I'm just going to go and have some Baileys and ice at the moment, chill out.
Good man.
Take it easy.
This Newcastle Brown here, and
excellent, fantastic. Well, I'm hoping to get to Wildfire. I'm just waiting for my invite coming through. I'm hoping to get there. But what's the plan? Possibly after Wildfire, are you looking to try and do a tour? Is that in the works at the moment, or is it not planned?
Yeah, I think I think the back end of the year would probably be a safer bet, just to make sure everything is sort of done and dusted and out of the way. But after Wildfire, we have a few other shows. We're playing the night before in Rock and Blues, and then we've got Wildfire, and then 2 weeks after that, we're doing Sheffield in the Corporation, which we 3 times, which is great. And then we're supporting Massive Wagons in Morecambe the night after that. That should be good. We know the guys, this year's, so it should be a great show. And then we have a show back here at home. There's nothing else planned as yet, but October, November is always sort of good months for us. We always tend to come back over and do things. So I think hopefully get back to Scotland, do a few shows there, and just wrap it up, and hopefully everyone come out and join us.
Yeah, listen, if you do, if I don't make Wildfire, if you do manage to get out near the end of the year, please let me know. My boss will probably be in touch with PR guys to get a couple of passes. We'll do an interview again. I'll do a full live review of the show, and then we'll probably catch a couple of drinks afterwards. And obviously Jim won't want to fucking hurt me when he sees me.
He's good.
You know, I'll be like this. But listen, it's been an absolute pleasure, Tom. I really appreciate you taking the time. Good luck with the album. And I'm almost certain it's going to be a surefire winner. Say hi to the guys, and we will hopefully see you tail end of the year.
Cheers, mate. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. This is Darren from Jace Media in conversation with Tom Hart from Trucker Diablo, saying thanks for your time, Tom. Let's keep it rocking, and best of luck with the album.
Cheers, brother. Rock and roll.
You too. Cheers, bud.